Hey guys, it's Sarah, and I'm about to get started on my first layout using my April Noel Mignon kit, which is called Let's Get Lost. So this is definitely a travel themed kit this month, and at first I was a little worried because we haven't done much traveling lately in our family. We just are kind of in a position right now where we are not able to do that a whole lot. The only traveling we've really done is our Disney trip last year, and I already have a scrapbook going about that. But I then remembered that I had printed a whole bunch of pictures from my childhood, and I'm working on kind of an album that I'm calling Back in the Day. So just lots of things from my childhood, some of my favorite family photos from when I was growing up until the time I got married. And I haven't worked on that album in, oh gosh, years, I think. Probably, I don't think I've worked on it since we've lived here, and we've been here for almost 3 years. So yeah, I need to get back to that. And I thought about that because I do have pictures from some trips that we took when I was young. Now this is like young. I think I was 6 months old in this picture, but that's me on my mom's back. But this picture was taken in Greece. My parents lived overseas. My father was active duty Air Force as well, and we lived overseas when I was born. I was born in the Netherlands. So my parents traveled around, to Europe and everything while they lived there with me when I was teeny tiny. So obviously I don't remember going to Greece and all that, but here's photographic proof, I guess. So I still want to document this. I love this picture of my mom. My mom is beautiful. And it's kind of a funny story just because they always say, well, you've been to Greece. I'm like, no, not really. I stared at the back of your head the entire time, and I was 6 months old. I don't remember that. So I have this printed, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. I think I'm going to be probably doing pages for that album for this entire kit just because it is travel themed, and I do have quite a few pictures that I can use in there. Now, the thing about this album is that there's a certain theme going through it where I'm going to be using craft cardstock as my main outline for every single layout in this album, and that's something I decided before I started making it, and it's just something that kind of brings everything together regardless of what colors I'm using. Craft is the best neutral to go with pretty much anything. So I will be pulling my own craft cardstock because I have a certain pack that I'm using throughout this entire album. This is just American craft cardstock. So I will be using that for each one of my layouts. So that's going to be one thing I'll be using that doesn't come in the kit, although there is a craft cardstock in the kit. So, it's the same kind of concept. And my main background is going to be this gorgeous white brick paper from We Are Memory Keepers. And it goes really well with this picture because in this picture is, just kind of some whitewashed stone right here. So I think that's going to go really nicely with it. All right, so I am going to go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is cut down this We Are Memory Keepers brick paper. I'm going to cut about a 1/4 inch off of each side. And that's going to look really nicely with just that nice khaki or craft border there. And then I decided to also use this other paper from We Are Memory Keepers, and this one is blue and it has really pretty black arrows all over it, and so I just thought that would be a nice little layering piece here as well. And then the B side of that is this gorgeous black and white diagonal stripe, which I love. That's one of my favorite patterns for paper because it just really goes with everything and adds a nice little pattern without being too overwhelming. So I just flipped that over and I'm going to use the B side of that as well. Now this kit came with 2 little ribbon pieces here. So there are these globes, which are a fabric strip, and I'm going to use that on here. The colors obviously go really, really nicely, and it just adds a nice little detail there. And then that black and white ribbon I'm going to use along there as well. And I'm sorry, I think I'm going to hit my tripod here a couple times. I don't have my camera set up as well as I probably should have. I should have paid more attention to where my chair was sitting. But every so often when I'm doing stuff, I just don't pay attention to how close my chair is to my tripod, and I have to be careful about that. All right, so I took some black soot Distress ink and I inked up the edges of all of these papers here to give them a nice cohesive look. And I definitely wanted some along the outside of that brick paper there, so it didn't blend in too much with my cardstock. And then I just went ahead and did all of them there. And then I'm going to cut a strip of this globe fabric. I keep wanting to say ribbon, but it's not ribbon, it's a fabric. I used my ATG just to put one little strip of adhesive on there just to keep it in place while I staple it, and then I'm going to use my tiny attacher and staple it in 4 different places there just to keep it down. And now, since I have staples on the back of this layout, I'm going to go ahead and use some washi tape and just cover up those staples so that they don't snag on the page protectors or on whatever layouts are going to go behind this layout as well. So I'm just using some washi tape just to cover that up. And I'm going to go ahead and put this strip down here. I'm using a lot of adhesive today, a lot of ATG, just because I do have some fabric elements on here and I just want to make sure everything is going to stay nicely. Okay, so I'm going to cut a strip of this ribbon here, and I'm going to use my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive to put that down very carefully. It just adds a nice little border there that I really like. All right, and now it's time to get my picture put down, and I'm trying to decide if I need to pop it up, but that fabric is actually really, really thin, so I don't really feel the need that I need to pop it up or anything. It's not warping the picture at all. All right, so now I'm going to use these thickers that came in the kit, and I'm going to spell out the word grease. So Greece. And I love that those are black with kind of white paint splatters on them. They're super cute. And it fits perfectly right next to the picture there. And then I'm going to take these little letter stickers here, and I'm going to spell out "You've been to," because that is what my parents say all the time, that I've been to Greece. Even though I kind of haven't. All right, so I have this really large floral piece right here in the corner, and I debated on whether or not I was going to use it. I'm going to leave it there for a little bit and see. The only problem I have with it is that it's very dimensional, and I'm not big on a lot of dimension in my layouts just because it tends to warp my page protectors over time, and I don't know, it's not usually what I go for, but I really like that big floral right there in that corner. I think it's just perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and go with it. I did pull off the green kind of felt leaves almost, if you will, because you don't really see them, and it was just one other layer I didn't need on there, so I did pull those off. All right, so now I am going to use some of these shapes from a Chamel paper that came in the kit, and they are little hearts, and I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 of these out, and I'm going to use them as embellishments on my layout here. So I'm literally just cutting out all these little shapes here that look like hearts. And I'm trying to make sure I get a couple that have like kind of that coral pink color in it, because I'm going to bring a couple more elements that have that in there as well. All right, so I have those hearts cut out. I'm going to go ahead and get my title stuck down. And then I am adding a little apostrophe there in my title. And I was thinking about maybe journaling on one of those stickers, but I wasn't sure if my pen was going to dry on it because it's a pretty shiny surface and I don't have like a slick writer or anything. So I just did a little test on another one, and I'm going to let it dry and see if it'll actually stick. And then if not, then I know not to use that sticker. But all right, so for the flower, I'm going to add some glue dots on here, and just making sure that it's going to stay nicely. I'm going to put 4 around the petals and then 1 in the center. And then get that stuck down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick everything else down here too. So I have my flowers or my hearts in 3 different places. I am using this little flare badge. I'm using some red line tape on the back instead of the pop dot that it came with, just to make it a little bit flatter. And that says love, and it has gold arrows on it. And then I'm also going to use a sticker from this pink paisley sticker sheet, and it says snug as a bug. And I thought that went pretty well with me being on my mom's back, and I look kind of snug in that little backpack there. So, and then I used a little heart as well, and then this little geotag I'm going to stick directly onto that heart. And then I grabbed this arrow, but I already have enough arrows on the paper. I don't really need another one, so I'm going to pass on that one. But I definitely want another circular element to go next to the title, because I have circle elements in the other 2. So I'm just looking around to see exactly what I want to use. And I'm going to end up going with one of these Chamel wood buttons, and it says go on it. So I'm going to stick that right there. And I'm checking the ink on that sticker, and yeah, it just wiped completely off. So I'm not going to journal on one of those label stickers there. So I'll do something different. And I'm going to grab some white cardstock here. This is just scrap cardstock, and I'm going to write out my journaling, and then I'm going to cut it into strips and just kind of cut them all down to size. And then I will go and use my distress ink again, like I did around the papers, and I'm going to distress, ink around all these little strips here. It's not completely necessary, but it definitely adds a little bit of separation there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get those stuck down, and there's my journaling. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the year using these stickers again. So I'm going to add 1979 because that's the year that this was taken. And I think after that I'm going to add some Heidi Swap Color Shine in Ocean Blue, which is the color that came in the kit, and that's going to end up completing my layout. But I'm really, really happy with this. I love how kind of soft it is, and just everything worked together so beautifully. So this is one of my favorites that I've made in quite a while. So I really, really love it a lot. And I guess I've already told the story of the picture, but that was me and my mom when my parents went to Greece for a little trip when we lived over in Europe. And I was 6 months old on her back, and they continue to tell me that I've been to Greece, so I don't need to worry about it, but it does not count in my book. So, and that's going to be it. So here's some close-ups for you. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you have not checked out the Noel Mignon kits, I will leave a link down to her website down below if you guys want to go check it out. And also check out the blog for how some of the other design team members are using the kit. Okay, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.